Sanctuary and refuge is a tradition, one of the most ancient traditions of our faith. It's also central in Judaism and Islam, where we're called to welcome people, particularly those that are oppressed, those who are in danger. It means a holy place, a place of safety. We're responding to human need.
To be inside of a sanctuary church is hard because you have to be locked inside. I can't leave the property because then they could detain me. What I miss the most is my home, my children, my work. I miss everything. The judge issues a deportation order because I was not eligible for political asylum, because the judge wanted proof that guerrilla had threatened me with the letters to join them. But I didn't have them. My attorney told me, "Don't worry, because I can appeal the case." But while it was an appeal, that's when I had to leave the country. My daughters were in Guatemala with my parents. I received news that my oldest daughter was very sick.
Criminality is sort of a relative term, and I'm going to go back to Martin Luther King Jr. and Letter from Birmingham Jail and Henry David Thoreau, that we have an obligation to obey just laws. We do not have an obligation to do anything but disobey unjust laws.
My daughter had her little hand bandaged, and my mom had told me that she had taken her to the doctor because she had something in her fingernails. Her fingernails were not growing. They weren't coming out normal. They weren't growing. So then my mom took her to the doctor and says that the doctor yanked her fingernails out of one hand, all 5 fingernails. She had a very profound anemia, but I couldn't leave the country because the only thing I had was a work permit. I knew that if I didn't do something, my daughter would die. I immediately took her to the doctor. The doctor said that if I had not taken her sooner, my daughter would have developed leukemia. When my daughter is better, I had to come back.
So many families face deportation, face breakup, and what I think, I truly do, I hate to say it, but I think there's sin involved in somehow portraying that in any way as a good thing. It is not a good thing. It would not be a good thing for people of any class, any race, to break up a family.
When I come back to the United States, I come back with the coyote. The smuggler gives me a visa to cross customs. They never told me that the visa was a fake visa. So they stopped me with the visa. And I thought they're going to deport me back to Guatemala. So I told immigration, I told them that I was Mexican. And in that moment, he took my fingerprints and he ran them in through the computer. It was less than 2 hours that I was detained. The next day, I tried again to cross the border, and I made it. By 2001, One day, I get a letter in the mail. In the letter, I was told that I had to go. I had to leave the country because I was not eligible for political asylum, and I had 1 month to go back. I already had my oldest 2 daughters here. The other one that was little was here. And then I was pregnant with my youngest son. So I decided not to leave. That's the way that I stayed for 10 years. In November of 2011, they found me and they arrested me. I used to work in a company in High Point, and one day they arrived and they detained me. They took me to a jail in Burlington, and I was there for 8 days detained. And in 8 days, they moved me to a jail in Georgia. I spent one night there. Because the next day, they opened the door, they told me to leave.
As much as that racism, xenophobia, misogyny, and all those things are built into the groundwater in our history, there's also that part that wants to ascend beyond it, that wants to redeem it. And Quakers taught that to us.
So they gave me a sheet so that every 6 months I would present myself to the Immigration Customs office in Charlotte. After 2 appointments, they just told me just go once a year, and I was even happier. And every year, I renewed my work permit, and I had my work permit from 2011 until 2017. The difference in 2017 was that the administration had changed its policy and the situation was harder. So an attorney from Charlotte represented me and went with me to the appointment. They told me that they had everything ready in the computer system because they had orders to detain me that day and deport me. I felt like the world was coming over me. But they gave me a chance. But I was going to have the ankle monitor. One doesn't really rest fully with this thing on your foot. It bothers me.
To people who say what we are doing is criminal, there's no criminality here, not on Juana's part and not on ours. She's lived here for almost 25 years. She's raised her family. She is married to an American citizen. Her 2 youngest children are citizens. Her 2 daughters are DACA recipients and are working members of the community. This is not a person we should ever believe is a danger to our country, to our security, to anything whatsoever except an asset to this country.
The reason why I am here is so that they can see how unjust the laws are. What I would tell these people is that I am not a criminal. I would like to say, what would you do? Because it is easy when you're not living it, when you don't know about it. It's easy to say it's not right, she shouldn't be there. But when you live it, it is very difficult. Put yourself in my shoes and think how it would feel, because it is very difficult to be separated from your family.